Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be crazy women you should avoid. So, this is an interesting email because, as I mentioned in last week's video newsletter, a lot of the phone sessions that I have with guys, I'd say probably the majority of them, the guys could have saved their money if they had just read the book 10, 15, 20 times or more and really got to know the information. But I appreciate the business nevertheless, because at the end of the day, some people are hard-headed. And what's interesting about this is this guy really, obviously this girl was hot, and so he put up a lot of ridiculous stuff. Because the idea with my book 3% Man, it's to help you find a good woman with a good attitude, easygoing, easy to get along with, loves her mom and dad, gets along great with her parents. Family's really important to her. She doesn't take herself or life too seriously. She doesn't get butthurt when you tease her or mess with her. She'll just tease you right back and fuck with you right back because she's got a good attitude. And if somebody grows up in a less than desirable type of environment, she's basically bringing all the problems that were created in her childhood into your life. And if you don't follow what's in the book, you're going to get involved with somebody that you should have gone out maybe one or two dates and you should have been out of there. But this guy, he sounds like he probably got hypnotized by the cute ass and boobs and nice butt and face and everything. And he was figuring he could fix her. He could change her. He could get her to act normal. This book, 3% Man, you can read it for free at understandingrelationships.com. All you got to do is subscribe to the email newsletter to get access to it. This will help you screen out the fucking lunatics, because right away it's going to bring out the best and the best, and it's going to repel the women that are toxic and fucking crazy. But if you continue to put up a crazy behavior, well, then that shit's on you. So I got a quote that I wrote, and then we're going to go through this dude's email. The quote says, "We are a byproduct of our parents' limiting beliefs, fears, biases, blind spots, and flaws. Much of our early childhood is often spent trying to overcome the parenting mistakes of those who raised us. Most people are not aware of this truth of life and therefore spend no time on trying to overcome their flaws and shortcomings to become a better version of themselves and to become the person they were meant to be. This means that there are countless potential toxic friends, lovers, and acquaintances we must avoid in order to reach our full potential. Finding great lovers and friends is as much about dealing with our own flaws as it is about finding and identifying the flaws in others, so we can avoid them and the toxicity they will inevitably bring into our lives. If we allow them into our inner circle, a large part of our happiness or misery is the result of the people we spend our time with. Choose wisely. Too many of us make bad fucking choices, and then we just make excuses for that person's bad behavior. It's a bad way to go. So he says, "Hey coach, I'm a big fan of your work. I've read your book several times, some parts more than others. No cherry picking, my man, 10 to 15 times. So that tells me he probably went through it a couple of times, and he's like, okay, I'm going to read this part and that part. He's just trying to take a shortcut. There are absolutely no fucking shortcuts to success. If you really want to learn about everything I've been through in my life, you can read Mastering Yourself for free also at understandingrelationships.com. Because like the thing I've learned more than anything in life is everything you think you're going to do, it always takes way fucking longer and way more money to get there. And so when I see people making mistakes, they're like, oh, I don't have the time. I don't want to listen to your fucking book 15 times. I don't like the sound of your voice, or whatever. If you're not willing to put the time in, if you're not willing to prepare ahead of time, well, you're preparing to fail. And that's on you. Anybody booking a phone session in an emergency when the shit hits the fan. But people do it to themselves. But I am here. I am a coach that can help you in a break glass in case of emergency type of situation. I get a lot of those. I'd say probably 90 95% of the phone sessions probably could be avoided if the guys just followed the instructions and read the book 10 to 15 times. It is what it is. He says, I'm divorced and 54 years old. I met a woman. So notice we said, I've read your book several times, in some parts more than others, depending where I've been in the dating and relationship cycle. So again, that tells me he's going back to the book to pick up, okay, how do I respond to this text? What should I say to her? That's somebody that doesn't understand the flow and the philosophy. And so instead of just responding and it being innate and natural, he's having to stop and think about everything he does and everything he says. That's what happens when you don't read it 10 to 15 times. You don't know the material. Then you go to the book looking for the right answer, the right magic line to say, and 9 times out of 10, you're going to fuck it up and you're going to make things way harder on yourself than it needs to be. He says, I met a woman a couple of years ago. She's divorced with a teenage daughter. She's very beautiful and voluptuous. Part of the problem. The sex was great. That's the thing. You dating crazy women, because I've dated a few of them. The sex is always amazing. Always fucking amazing. But dealing with their fucking personality when you're not fucking is just a nightmare. She's European and a socialist. Well, the reality I've learned, because I had a girlfriend who was a socialist once, even though she wanted to leave her fucking socialist country and come to the United States, which is not a socialist country. And she was, of course, liked all the socialist politicians that completely fucked up her country. Socialists tend to they don't fully accept personal responsibility for their own lives. And so socialism sounds great. We did an extensive documentary on it called Why Socialism, which is available on my YouTube channel. He says, I'm conservative and voted for Trump. He's on the Trump train. I like this guy. I can hear the oh, fuck you, Corey. I'm turning off the video right now. Fuck you and fuck Trump. We often fought over the relationship power balance. That was another thing I noticed about my socialist girlfriend, is that she had a hard time letting go. She didn't have a father growing up in her life, and so she didn't trust men. And so she was always used to being in her masculine a lot of times, and she was just a pain in the ass. I want easygoing, easy to get along with. And that's why the girlfriends that I've had over the course of my life that I'm still in contact with, they have great attitudes, and we still have a great relationship all these years later. It's like all I have to do is talk to one of them, and I'm like, oh, that's why. Oh, yeah. Such a great reminder. She's a control freak with a horrible temper. I learned over our 2-year relationship, she walked out on her husband and all her boyfriends. Many were relationships of upwards of 2 to 5 years. I've seen that pattern as well. This was a red flag. Yeah, you should have been going, check please. She's estranged from her family, can't get along with her coworkers, has constant fallings out with neighbors, handymen, etc., and yells and fusses at her daughter in front of me. That was something that my girlfriend also did with her kids, just always bitching at them. And she could be really sweet, but she was she's just bitchy and grumpy and unhappy, and she took it out on everybody around her. Who wants to deal with that? But hey, if you've never had really good pussy, and guys are willing to put up with that until they're not. He says, I became her manservant and tried to appease her, but she only ramped up her demands. Man, she ragged on my family, tried driving a wedge between my siblings and elderly mother. Oh, this is great. Where's the upside here? She's hot. The sex is amazing. She told me she hadn't liked her ex's family either. Go figure. She doesn't like anybody. You know why? Because she didn't like herself. That was another problem that this particular ex-girlfriend of mine had. I remember I said to her one time, I was like, you're just not happy. You're not a happy person. She went, I'm not happy? She didn't like that. That went over like a lead balloon. Needless to say, I don't talk to her anymore. I haven't talked to her in years. More red flags. She became increasingly distant, cold, and combative. She never said the L word to me, so I gave up saying it to her. Well, as the book says, 3% man, it's always best if you let women come to you. If you're constantly going, I love you, and it's not coming back, again, you're not following what the book teaches. Saying I love you to a woman is not in love with you. It does nothing to raise her attraction level. You're thinking, well, damn, you acted weak and needy and she walked all over you. He says, that may be true, but anytime I push back, and I did all the time, she'd fly into a rage and we get into terrible arguments. So much fun. So much fun. Ah, this is just wonderful. Who wouldn't want to date a girl like this? This makes life exciting, doesn't it? Fuck. We recently hit our 2-year anniversary mark. 2 fucking years with that. Oh my God. We didn't make it to a full year. I fucking couldn't take it. I had enough. Check, please. I pulled the ripcord and I was fucking out of there. I took her on a date. We exchanged anniversary cards. Pretty sweet, huh? She must have expected more than a card because on the way to dinner she said, I guess American men are afraid of commitment. I responded, was that a generic compliment or one directed at me? She didn't reply. Oh, no passive-aggressive behavior there at all. Nice. At dinner, she started a public argument about Trump. It's also helpful to date women that have the same political philosophy as you. She's just pissed off at men and has got some serious fucking daddy issues. That's why she doesn't like an alpha like Trump. Pisses her the fuck off. Because the Donald Trump ain't going to put up with her. I know. There's like, I can just see all the comments. Fuck you, Corey. Trump. I usually get lots of emails or comments when I mention that. You know, and they always start out the same way. You know, you're a pretty intelligent and together guy, and you really seem to be pretty smart, but when you talk about Trump, you're just dumb. It's usually some stupid shit like that. I'm sure I'll see plenty of that just from the comments, but that's okay. Haters make me rich. She stormed away from the table and went to the ladies' room. Yep. I remember we were having dinner one time. It was a beautiful restaurant out by a lake, one of my favorite places to eat. The food was great, and she was a bitch all the way from the time we left my place till we got to the restaurant. And then sitting there at dinner, she just had a scowl on her face. It's like, oh. Anybody around us could look and go, they ain't having a good time. She's fucking hot, but she's crazy. Crazy. Crazy people. When she came back, she said, I guess I need to test you more. Uh-oh. A week later, we got into another huge fight. I tried pursuing, then reevaluated, and suggested we take a break while she was in Germany. We agreed to meet when she returned. I would have said, don't call me when you get back. I'm changing my number. I stayed in a low to no contact mode during this period. She's back home, but hasn't responded to my text about meeting up. Dude, when you pursue a woman that behaves this way, you're saying, thank you, may I have another? Please abuse me some more. I haven't had enough abuse, Your Highness. And because she's hot and voluptuous, every guy puts up with this. Guys like me, they won't put up with it for very long. Once a lifetime is enough to deal with a woman like this. Every man should have this kind of experience. And then when you meet a woman who's got her shit together, a great attitude, you're like, oh man, what a revelation. It's over for sure. Frankly, I don't want her back. Now you're talking, dude. Was she expecting a ring from a man she doesn't love and treats like shit? She's just a miserable fucking human being. It's not your fault, dude. This is what happened in her upbringing. This is what she learned in her family. She don't get along with anybody. If she don't get along with anybody, how the fuck do you think she's going to get along with you? Why would you want to consider even having a family or kids with somebody like this? You just end up in some big, nasty fucking divorce. And if you live in like California or somewhere where men have like know, I mean, the laws are completely slanted in the woman's favor. It's like she gets half your shit. At some point, do the 3% man tactics fail on women like this? No, you just ignored all the red flags. The idea is to see all the red flags so you get the fuck out of there. And you didn't. You got hypnotized by the hot pussy. That's what happened. And the book went right out the fucking window because she was hot. So that's on you, dude. The book worked as designed. But if you don't follow what you're getting, and if you don't boot a woman like this out of your life right away, well, that's on you, dude. You fucked up. No man is good enough. I don't want it to end with bitterness. Well, it looks like it's just been bitter from the whole time. So she's going to be pissed off at you, and she's going to blame you for everything, and she's going to take zero responsibility for any of the problems in the relationship. It's going to be all your fucking fault. Just like sex has to be the man's fault. In this case, when you're dealing with a fucking crazy lunatic, probably narcissistic jackass, she won't take any responsibility for it. But once she starts losing her hot looks and men don't pay as much attention to her, her attitude is going to have to change, or she's going to become a cat lady. Because we run in some of the same social circles. She has some belongings left at my house. This will eventually occur to her, and she'll reach out. For now, I'm totally going no contact. Dude, I would move on and start dating, box her shit up. And if she ever gets in touch, hey, I need to get my stuff, I was like, no problem. I got it all boxed up. I'm going to take it right over to FedEx. I'm going to send it right over to you, and you'll get everything back. By the way, I met a really nice girl recently. We had a great date the other night. She's so much fun. She's so easy to get along with. She's got a great attitude. What a revelation. You know, we just weren't compatible. But I wish y'all the best. Got nothing but love for ya. So if you'd like to get my help personally, the quickest way is to go to my website, understandingrelationships.com, click the products tab at the top of your screen, and book a coaching session with yours truly. Until then, I will talk to you soon.